Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to second upload. Today talking about the new Czechoslovakian heavy tanks. Literally an hour ago, Wargaming released. Out of nowhere, I had no idea. They shared some first information about the Skoda T45, you know, the upcoming Tier 8 premium tank, which now basically has been confirmed as a premium tank. Before we didn't know that. If you haven't seen that video, please, link is in the description. Go check it out because it features double shot auto loader gun, so definitely check it out as well. But now double video because they just released developer diaries episode about Czechoslovakian heavy tanks, and in this video, ladies and gentlemen, let's watch it together. Let's go full screen and let's watch it together. Let's see what they have to say. I'm going to add my commentary to it. Let's see what type of heavy tanks are going to be, because my biggest worry was them adding another, you know, copy-paste tech tree line to something, but hopefully it's going to be different. So first impressions together with you, let's go.
New tanks to our game is a constant and natural process which draws a lot of players' attention, especially if the new vehicles prove to be really interesting. That's exactly what happened to the Czechoslovakian medium tanks. These fast and maneuverable vehicles with an excellent autoloader indeed have brought unique gameplay to the game. Now we introduce a new Czechoslovakian heavy tank branch.
Excited. I'm actually excited.
The tanks will be tested very soon. But first, let's learn a little bit more about these vehicles.
Okay, beautiful. So I have to agree, first thing, Czech medium tanks, when they first were introduced into this game, they were absolutely fantastic and were one of my favorite tanks right from the get-go, and still are one of my favorite tanks. I am talking about Tier 9, Tier 10, because there is one saying that the best stuff is always behind the wall of fear, or something like that. And the anti-wall of fear, talking about Czechoslovakian medium tanks, is Tier 8. TVP VTU. That's like super bad, but if you can grind, if you force yourself through it, paradise opens up. Skoda D50, fantastic. Skoda TVP, D50-51, oof. Actually, that's just TVP D51, right, guys? That's just, oh, mega good. Let's go. Hopefully no trash tanks over here.
During the Second World War, Czechoslovakian industry received a lot of advanced military technologies. This potential, alongside the USSR's influence in post-war times, was actualized in the concepts of heavy combat vehicles. Czechoslovakian engineering companies formed their own vision of what new heavy tanks could be. All this was taken into account during the reconstruction of a series of conceptual drafts that made up the new Czechoslovakian heavy tank branch in World of Tanks. The first Czechoslovakian heavy tank is the Skoda T45 Tier 7 premium tank.
We have tested it, video is up as well actually.
It is easy to trace the influence of German tank building in this vehicle. The overall hull geometry and turret shape clearly denote that. Besides, the Skoda T45 suspension consists of 3 bogies per side, in which the rollers are interlocked in pairs. For Ferdinand Porsche and his colleagues, this technical solution was quite typical. In terms of gameplay, the vehicle decently performs the duties of a heavy tank. It has pretty good frontal armor, nice maneuverability for a heavy tank, and comfortable gun handling. The Skoda T45 is a sort of workhorse that will be the perfect vehicle to train the Czechoslovakian heavy tanks crew.
True, to pre-train them, because this is Tier 7 premium tank, but they just released information about Tier 8 premium tank as well, so definitely if you want to see more about Skoda D45, link is also in the description. But this vehicle, you know, it is nothing special, as they said. It's like super similar to the German heavy tank maybe in Tier 7, so this is why I was a bit worried at first and wasn't hyped if Czech tech tree looked like this.
The researchable branch will start from Tier 7 with the VZ44-1.
Looks
The
almost
transition
exactly
will be
like TVP
available from the
V2.
Skoda T25.
Okay, so we can see first picture already starts from Skoda D25. So if you want to grind them as soon as possible, stop wasting experience on Skoda D25, uncheck that and start saving some experience. Tier 7, VZ44, Tier 8, T105, I guess, 1000, TNH, and VZ55. Okay.
Just like the premium tank, this vehicle is the result of an interpretation of Skoda's work and practices on
It's
orders
like
proportion.
copy-paste.
It is easy to notice the common elements of these two tanks, and some differences. This tank is simple and easy to master,
Yeah, you
created
said
to
it
simplify
already.
the transition from medium to heavy tanks.
Okay. Now, big boys, big boys.
Tier 8 is represented by the TNH 105-1000.
I like the turret look. Me
The
personally.
project of this tank refers to the post-war period when Czechoslovakia was already armed with Soviet tanks. This can be clearly seen in the vehicle's appearance. It still shows the influence of the German school of tank building. Nonetheless, there are some noticeable Soviet elements. The turret's additional armor reflects both the extensive experience gained by the Soviet Union and the impromptu variants of tank workshops or wartime factories.
Uh-huh.
The welded hull, in terms of armor thickness and welding method,
48 km per hour top speed is relatively fast. Actually, for a heavy tank, hit points 1.5k, view range 380. 10 meters better than on the premium tank. A lot faster than the premium tank I covered today as well.
it resembles that of
Interesting.
Soviet heavy tanks.
Speed is actually
But
very
the
good.
main difference between the TNH 105-1000 and its predecessor isn't its look. The Czechoslovakian heavy tank's hallmark is having two guns to choose from.
Okay.
The first one fires in a cyclic mode. The second has an autoloader with two shells.
Aha.
Both guns will
Okay.
be set up as top guns.
Okay, let's see the reload time. I think the cyclic gun was able to fire a bit faster, right? I think was able to fire a bit faster, but burst. This like double shot is all about burst, ladies and gentlemen. Same gun characteristics, but one can carry two shells, one can carry one shell. All right, so very interesting. This is where it starts from tier 8, as
Therefore,
usually.
you'll be able to pick the gun that best suits your playstyle, with no loss of firepower.
Now that is actually a very nice solution. You have to look at the gun. They were distinguishably different, you know, when we look at this screen right over here. So this one had the autoloader, this one is the single shot, right? Looking
The
at the position.
Czechoslovakian heavy tank's hallmark is having two guns to choose from.
Let's take a look. Yeah, this is the single shot, this is the double shot.
The first
gun.
one fires in a cyclic mode. The second has an autoloader with two shells.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful.
By the TN
Let's talk about tier 9 now. What do we
Tier
have?
9 is occupied by the
TNH
TNH T Vz 51.
TVZ 51.
This tank is no longer
looks
influenced
nice.
by German tank building and is a joint Czechoslovakian-Soviet project. In
50.
comparison with its predecessor,
Fast.
this heavy tank is even more
Fast,
heavily
ladies and
armored and
gentlemen.
more durable.
Fast.
However, it also has the same option to choose between
I
two
didn't see
top
this. 390 view range, 1,800 hit point, stop speed
In comparison
50.
with its predecessor,
Alright.
this heavy tank is even more heavily armored and more durable. However, it also has the same option to choose between two top guns. The caliber of both guns increased from 105 to 122 millimeters in comparison with its younger brother, and its gun handling also improved. It is the caliber of the autoloader guns that is the visible tier-to-tier progression of the Czechoslovakian heavy tanks. Because unlike other branches with autoloaders, the number of shells in the Czechoslovakian branch remains the same, 2 shells.
Okay, before we move on, 122mm gun, able to overmatch many things, 390 alpha damage, minus 6 degrees of gun depression. It's okay. It's okay at the very best. That's bad, but it's okay. Two different gun options, once again, double shot with 780 burst, you know, or 390 single shotgun. But
105
once again, wargaming, look at this guy.
to 122 millimeters in comparison with
Look at this, Wargaming once again teasing us with this battleground, training ground. I really hope we are going to get that soon. I have so many episode ideas already planned for this training ground. I so hope so, to test out RNGs and stuff like that. Ooh, future, guys, future will be bright. Hit the subscribe button right now. I think it was quite a nice timing to say that, right? Okay, let's see tier 10.
The number of shells in the Czechoslovakian branch remains the same.
2
shells.
Wheezy.
The crown jewel of the branch is the VZ-55.
Wheezy-55. This looks like a tier 8 premium tank.
The influence of Soviet tank building can be seen the most clearly in this tank.
It looks like a
Welded hull
medium
with
tank.
additional armor is not the only feature. Here, it is also expressed in the elements of its running gear, suspension, wheel arms, shock absorbers, and bump stops. The original Czechoslovakian tank hull, in terms of armor plate thickness and connection, is also similar to Soviet solutions. It is clearly seen if we compare the VZ-55 with the IS-7 or the Object 277. Quite a low silhouette, a proportional hull, and excellent armor. Indeed, these tanks have something in common.
Speed. Okay, so this is another mobile. This tank, like, looking simply at the mobility. Usually, this is a competitor for maybe some ranked battles, some clan wars action as well. You know, top speed 50, 1,800, 390. Not so much clan wars because, you know, Chieftain, 279Es and stuff like that.
In terms of dynamics, the VZ-55
1,800 hit points. That's same as tier 9. Wait, what?
is outmatched by the IS-7
That had to be a typo.
and the Object 277, but the gun caliber is the same. Two 130mm guns to choose from.
130mm gun, I like that. 490 minus 8 degrees of gun depression. Okay, gun stats are good. Mobility not as fast as 277, turns out to be actually. I should have watched the clip to the end, but still decent. But 1,800 hit points, it cannot be true.
One cyclic and one with an autoloader. Pick the one you like the most. Damage per shot is excellent, 490 HP. The 2-shell autoloader remains. Other characteristics
Show me the
require
HP
fine
on the
adjustment and
tank,
may
dude.
change. Conceptually, the technical characteristics of both guns are as follows. Accuracy and aiming time are not so great, but are compensated for by good stabilization. Besides, it is planned to have a short reloading time of around 3 seconds for the gun with an autoloader. Such vehicle parameters will be the motivation to play on the front line. Their armor allows them to fend off enemy attacks, while decent damage per shot and gun stabilization will bring nice results. And if you choose the gun with an autoloader, the amount of damage you can deal in certain situations can be huge. In addition to the Czech heavy tank branch and the Tier 7 premium
980
vehicle, there will
burst.
be another premium tank, but this time it will be a Tier 8 vehicle, the Skoda T45.
Yeah, this is the tank I talked about in my today's video as well, a bit more in depth, so check it out.
Its distinctive features are a gun with a 2-shell autoloader and a caliber of 130mm. Menacingly big at Tier
130,
8.
yeah, 460 alpha damage. That's very, very unique actually.
This heavy tank will cause 460 HP.
Quite poor accuracy. 140 meters away, and look at that bloom, dude.
This heavy tank
Look at that bloom, 130 meters, 40 meters away.
will cause 460 HP of damage per shot, one of the highest values at Tier 8. But this comes with some risks. The vehicle will go to testing in the very near future. In case the damage per shot is too great, the tests will see one more configuration of this tank. It will have less damage per shot, maybe a smaller caliber, and a different set of aggregate gun characteristics. And the choice in favor of one or another option will be made based on the test results.
I am fairly positive that the choice is already made towards the double shotgun, because usually this is what premium tanks introduced. If they want to make more sales, they are going to add double shotgun. So them saying it depends on the test, it's BS in my opinion. I believe that decision has already been made in the office. If they want to sell more tanks, the marketing team said, hey, you have to add double shotgun, otherwise it is not going to sell. So that's BS, guys. Don't listen to this. Anyway,
The Czechoslovakian heavy
let's hear
tanks are
the end.
definitely going to be interesting vehicles. The technical characteristics of the tanks of this branch, like the others, increase proportionally from tier to tier. At the same time, the main distinguishing features remain unchanged, the choice between 2 guns and an autoloader with 2 shells in one of the guns. All the vehicles will undergo testing very soon. Remember that the tank's characteristics are not final. They may be refined before release.
Okay, I really hope the HP is going to be refined. 50 kilometers per hour top speed, 1,800 hit points. Okay, well, that's fun, you know. That's funny, guys. That's funny. That has to be a typo or something like that. So, what do we think about that? Bad accuracy, but they said good gun stabilization, so that actually makes the vehicle so much better if you have good moving accuracy. That means you don't need to aim for that long, you can take snapshots more often and so on. Good punchy gun, double shot, you know, 980 burst. In 3 seconds after the first shot, minus 8 degrees of gun depression. Tier 10 looks promising, but of course I want to see how good the armor actually is. Is this a weak spot or not? It seems to be quite a thick commander hatch actually. If it is like 230 plus millimeters penetration needed, then versus tier 8s, tier 9s, it's very good. We'll see. Tier 9 seem to be interesting as well, actually. Tier 9 seems to be more interesting, maybe, for its tier by tier. Tier 8 as well, good entry vehicle, 320 alpha damage, 2 shotgun. I believe, like, most people are going to play with 2 shotguns because, first, the trading, it's just so much better at trading, guys. So much better at trading shots. And here is how the detectory looks like. Ladies and gentlemen, Czechoslovakian heavy tanks are getting closer and closer and closer. And if you do not want to miss out any new information about those vehicles, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button right over here. Do yourself a favor, guys. Do yourself a favor, hit the subscribe button right now and give me a chance. If you don't like my stuff, you can always unsubscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. I catch you next time with something else, beautiful people. And stay awesome, take care, and bye.